Hey, did you know that TGSTS is on YouTube and Instagram? We'd love to hear your episode suggestions or just chat with you about life. So find us at hashtag TGSTS and follow, like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thank you. Cheers.
So we usually hear the word divesting from the sisters.
Mm-hmm.
The brothers just getting a passport and saying, "Hey, we out."
Hey, girl.
Hey Mo, how are you?
All right, how are you?
I'm living the dream.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Blessed.
Yeah,
Well,
yes.
we have a special guest today, a
Who do we
friend of a
have?
friend,
Oh,
of one of our favorite friends of the pod, Broken Traditions. We
What's going on,
have
y'all?
Kofa.
woo! Hey
Welcome.
Kofa, welcome.
Y'all gotta get some cool sound
I
effects,
know.
some
We'll lay something over it.
Well, Kofa, first of all, can you tell us more about what your platform is, who you are?
So I am Kofa, Kofa, not coffee, not kufu, not kofi,
Foo-foo.
or any or any variation thereof. Kofa rhymes with sofa. Kofa is very simple. I am the host of Growth Talk podcast. Growth stands for Gentlemen Reaching Our Wealth Through Healing, and that is where we help men find a positive fuck it.
Okay. Well, positive bucket. Okay.
Yeah, what's
I
that?
need some of those.
What's a positive fuck it?
So a positive fuck it is basically not over drinking, not overthinking, not over drugging, not over chasing women, just brothers getting better. Just men, period, just getting better for themselves. Yeah, I'm not talking about as a father, as a husband, anything, just them as a soul man, just individually. So just finding your positive fuck it, whether it's meditation, hikes, sports of some sort, whatever the case may be.
That's
But
cool. That kind of sounds similar to our platform
Yeah.
in that it's kind of where you're finally in life focusing on yourself, because we spend so much of our lives like finding our identity through others or focusing on others that we don't really take the time to focus on ourselves. So like you said, not focusing on being a better father or a better spouse, like focusing on being a better person.
better you.
Yeah.
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 Plain
Mhm.
and simple. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it boiled down to. Just a positive fuck it. If she leave, fuck it. She took the kids, fuck it.
Pretty much. What can you do?
You got to
Yeah, I mean, we've
You
seen some
know?
horrible news. Well, we've seen news stories of what people can do, and that's so getting
yeah.
Mhm.
control of yourself, and it now before it's too late. I think that's important. You could be out there saving lives when you think about it.
Or saving yourself.
Yeah, that
Can't
part
can't
too.
can't save
I,
lives if you don't take care of yourself first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
That's the premise behind a positive fuck it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Or
I think
just
because we
saving people
always
from themselves. Yeah.
we always talk about stuff from like a woman's perspective, and we're always asking
Mhm.
questions like, "Oh, I wonder if men go through this." And one of
Mhm.
the things that we found interesting was that our listenership is mostly male, and so I think there is
Mhm.
an interest in understanding the opposite sex and understanding that we do have some things in common. We're all still trying to take care of ourselves and figure out how to navigate, especially as you get, you go through your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, and on, trying to
Yeah.
navigate the changes and take care of yourself in the process. So that's interesting to
Exactly.
know that, your platform addresses some of the same stuff that we do.
That's what it boiled down to. It still come down to the self. I often
Yeah.
preach about
Mhm.
I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with the Ronin idea. So a
Mm-mm.
Ronin is a masterless samurai. So you heard of samurai, right? Samurais,
Mm-hmm.
ninjas, all these different warriors, Roman warriors. But in Japan, a samurai's sole duty was to serve his lord, basically his master. If he got fired for whatever infraction or whatever, it was shameful. So some of these guys, like your job was a samurai. It wasn't like, hey, I'm a samurai on the weekend. There was no samurai reserve. So if you lost your job, that was like one of the highest positions you could be in Japan. So if you lost your job as a samurai, they would call you a Ronin
Mhm.
or a masterless samurai. So a lot of guys ended up wandering, those that lose their positions for whatever reason. they would end up wandering in Japan, and some of them couldn't find jobs because like word was spread. Like people would know, like, you used to be a samurai, like whether it was the way you dressed, your haircut, the weaponry you had. So I often preach about that. Can brothers be a Ronin? Can you be a Ronin and walk on your own and still survive? Because again, a lot of these guys, they might lose their position as a samurai, go to another village, another town or whatever, and couldn't get a job. Like if you had this high position, why would I trust you? And you lost that position for whatever reason. But you know, some people end up becoming vagabonds, and that's kind of where the whole what's the Japanese mafia? I can't think of the Yakuza kind of spun off from way back. They ended up doing crime just to get by, just to eat. So can you stand on your own?
I was asking Mo earlier about the growth. Gentlemen, what was it? Gentlemen reaching, what is
reaching
it?
our wealth through healing.
Through healing.
Gentlemen reaching our wealth through healing.
Through healing. Okay. We had some, I guess, interactions with different men, and realizing there was a lot of healing that needed to be done, various issues. We always talk about things from the woman's perspective because that's what we know. What types of issues are men facing, or what is it that you're healing from? What are some things you can kind of, if you could just shed light on just a male's perspective? What are the types of things? What do you give advice about? What do you see happening, you know, with men? Yeah.
That a lot of men got to get over is where I came up with the idea of the positive fuck it. Because as a man, nobody cares. Nobody cares
about men. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. In general, other men don't give a fuck. The women don't give a fuck. Like family, society in general is like suck it up, drive on. It goes all the way back to, you know, the childhood. You fall down, get up, boys don't cry. Things like that. And even if you show a tinge of weakness, especially as a black man, it's over pretty much. You can go through life and people will always remember that you had that moment of weakness. So I just remind brothers, it's a moment. You had everybody has a breaking, bending point, shifting point. So you have to be able to not give a fuck. You got to be able to say fuck it and keep on going, because at the end of the day, nobody cares.
I like what you said, though. It's a moment. We all have, you can have a moment and it passes and you're moving on. It doesn't define you. That one moment isn't everything.
Dang. Yeah, we're human too. And I often warn brothers about the beating your chest, the whole alpha male thing. Like everybody wants to be the top of the top. You want to be the best individual you can be at whatever particular craft, or just, like I said, just walking through life. When you have those moments, when you have those human moments, can you bounce back? How long are you down in the dirt before you get back up? So those are some of the things. That's the overall premise. But other little things is relationships, fatherhood. I was a single father, been a father, like I said, since I was 21. I had to figure that shit out. I just had a homeboy. I have a best friend. Matter of fact, we've been friends since the first day of kindergarten, literally, no exaggeration. So we've been friends 37 years, and he just had his first kid like 9 years ago. I think his son just turned 9, and we were talking, you know, over Christmas holiday, and he was like, "Man, I really had to think about, you know, you went through all that stuff by yourself. Like we was around, but none of the crew at the time had kids. No one had kids. So the perspectives I would be coming from, the things I would be looking at, he was like, you went through that shit by yourself," because he's kind of going through it now with, you know, him and his baby mama or whatnot. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like I went through that at 21, still trying to figure out life in general, you know, young adulthood, coming out of college. My daughter was born. I was 21 in January, which her birthday is in a couple of weeks. And my birthday's next month. So I turned 22. So 21, 22, I became a father. I graduated from college like 9 months later. And then it was like, now it's time to get it.
Yeah.
So, no, just not having that time frame to fuck up, basically, when it boiled down to me being a father, because I got a child I got to feed. So I had to go find a real job, like no shots taken at anybody, but no Foot Locker, no McDonald's. I had to get after it. Like the first real job I got out of college was working for the state of Georgia, and I worked in juvenile justice. So I immediately went into the workforce, but it was no excuses because I was a single dad. You should have thought about that before you got pregnant. whole rigmarole. Like there's
Yeah.
no system built to support young men when we're at that stage. So by the time we get to be 30, 40 something, there's going to be a little chip, there's going to be a chip on your shoulder, whether you want to call it bitterness, anger, hurt, whatever the process is for that particular person. We all have those things that we got to heal from. So going through all that a long time, I had to heal, but I was alone with my daughter. Like my daughter lived with me.
Mhm.
I tell people there's 12 years of school. My daughter lived with me for 6 of them. In
Mhm.
2 of those years, I was still paying child support. Nobody gave a fuck. So I'm still
Yeah.
paying child support while I'm feeding her every day, getting her ready for school. And it's so many levels and layers that people just don't see that men go through. And we have to do a better job at talking about it, which is why I hopped in this YouTube space. We got to do a better job at talking about it and knowing that nobody cares. It's just to pretty much get it off your chest. And you want to keep on moving. Like my daughter, she get, like I said, her birthday's in a couple of weeks. She's about to be 20. So I'm sitting in this house by myself, and people are like, "Oh, I know you're lonely. You miss your daughter." I miss her. I love my daughter. Fuck that. This is the first time I actually got to be by myself in 20 years.
I hear that.
So I have been
I miss
ducked
her,
off.
but
Yeah, I've been, and she's well. That's all I can ask. And
Yeah.
then, my youngest is she's 13. So my oldest is my biological child. My youngest isn't biologically mine. That's other relationship stuff me and her mom went through. So it's so many levels. The thing I tell people all the time, whatever y'all are going through as women, there's a male equivalent to that.
Yeah.
But we don't have the systems in place to support it. Like when I got custody of my daughter in high school, I had her for the second half of her 8th grade year until she graduated high school, which shout out to my baby, she graduated a year early. But I know the work that I put
Congrats.
in, like thank you. Having a teenage girl, y'all know the emotions and all that shit. And again, I'm a single man doing this by myself and trying to figure out the whole dating thing because I really did want a family at one point. I was open to being a stepfather, not that guy anymore. So you go through those changes, and now at 42, people are looking at me like, why wouldn't you date a woman with kids and blah, blah, blah. What's wrong with it? So we got to hear all the shit, no matter what steps we're going through. Somebody is waving their finger telling us we're wrong. So that's just a few things in a roundabout way. I know that was kind of long-winded, but I wanted to put context into it, to the why, because people just be like, oh, you're a single dad. What, you get her on the weekends? You see her during the summertime? Like, again, there's levels and layers to that. Like, men were simple, but we can be complex too, because we're usually, especially, I like to say good men. And I know people be like, oh, well, that good is subjective. That's bullshit. You know the difference between Chick-fil-A's My Pleasure and that McDonald's ice cream machine that doesn't work all the time. You know the difference between good and bad. I always use those examples. Chick-fil-A's My Pleasure. Great customer service. McDonald's, not so much. So good and bad really is subjective. We all know that. We've received bad service at some restaurant. That's why I use that as an example. So when you're a good man, nobody especially gives a fuck because you're so busy doing for so many other people and you usually leave yourself out. That's why I came up with the acronym for growth. I hope all that made sense.
It does.
Yes, when you say nobody cares, what do you mean? Do you mean there's a lack of appreciation or that your efforts go unnoticed? Or what do you mean by nobody cares?
Yeah, the efforts go unnoticed. When you do break or when you are broken, nobody cares. Because again, yeah, I mean, that's just it's on its face. No one cares. Like you might get an encouraging word every now and then, but you get more pushback. And I'm really not trying to be negative, but when you talk to the average day-to-day man and you ask him, why is he working so hard? Usually that answer is going to be so I can take care of my family. We flip the coin over, ask the average woman why she working so hard. It's either one, so I don't need no dude, or two, so I can take care of my kids. The
Mo
buck
taking a
stops
sip. She took a sip. She said,
the
"Let me
buck
get a."
stops with her and the kids. For a man, we can't do that because family may not be just the kids. It may be the wife. It may be the girlfriend. It may be the girlfriend and her kids that she brought
Mhm.
along. It might be your mama. You might have to be a daddy to your nieces and nephews. We are stretched so thin as men, and a lot of people don't realize it, but nobody cares because we're supposed to uplift the community. Nobody cares that your back hurt. Nobody cares that you're tired. Shake that shit off. Keep on going. And then we're supposed to be able to accept not even getting a thank you sometimes. Tell people all the time, I don't need you to throw me a parade. I don't need you to kiss my ass, but I don't need the chastisement either when I do mess up. Because we see it a lot of times, especially in the relationship space, where a woman has chosen a poor man, and you ask her, well, what happened? I did this, and this. Okay, what did he do? That sorry motherfucker didn't do nothing. Wait a minute. You done went down this whole list of stuff you did for this man and telling me he didn't do anything, and I can't get half of that list. I'm sitting here trying to hold this family together,
Mhm.
or I'm trying to hold it together for you. Fuck it.
Kofa, you sound like me.
What?
The stuff you talk about, like the same stuff I'm complaining about.
Yeah, all you
It's
gotta
just
do is flip the coin
interesting.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. I mean, when you bring it into a relationship dynamic, it
Yeah.
just sounds like people want to be acknowledged. That's it. Just acknowledged. I
Yeah,
mean, I know
that's
I'm
when it
married. I
boils down
fail
to.
at that. I fail at thank you, simple thank yous, or acknowledging the hard work my husband
Mhm.
does, or things like that. Like I
Yeah.
understand that's something, but I feel like that could be universal too, because I don't feel like women get as much praise for the shit that we have to do. I don't. So I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know.
But
I just think in
that's
general, people aren't acknowledging other people. I mean, I don't know.
yeah. Thing I talk to women a lot of times about, just like you just said, it's stuff that we have to do. Half
Mm.
that shit y'all doing ain't even y'all damn business. Y'all don't have to do
Like,
that shit. Half of that stuff ain't even y'all damn business. Whether it's your friends or your family. Half of that stuff y'all do not have to do it. If you got a man in the house and you have children, you have a family, and y'all trying to build this, that's your spot. That's your place to build and do a lot. But women, y'all stretch yourself thin because you got to be over here. I know so many women that just can't sit their ass down. And the men are looking at it because we're asked to do this stuff. We damn near have to do this stuff to check these blocks to be considered a good man. And then again, it doesn't yield any results a lot of times because we're being asked. Like, use myself for an example again. I stay around 1, 2, 3, 4 single women. All of them have different familiar dynamics. One of my neighbors is a single mom. She has a son. If she needs something, they'll call over. Neighbor across the street, single, taking care of her mom. So that's 2 more women. Her pops passed a couple of years ago. If she needs something heavy lifted, call Kofa. My other neighbor across the street is her mom and her 2 daughters. If she needs something or something looks, did you see that guy coming around the corner? She's a nosy neighbor. So she's like, did you see that guy? Did you see? That's the 3rd time that car passed. Like, I'm getting phone calls, I'm getting texts. And that's just neighborly because, like, when I'm going on military duty, they look out for the house for me. So I don't have no problem helping them. But it's one man, multiple women, which is usually the dynamics because y'all outnumber us. Just plain and simple. There are more women on the earth than there are men. So when there's a good man around, and it's something that my mom had to point out, my mom, who happens to be a black woman, because people are like, you hate women. No, I don't. But the thing my mom pointed out was, you got to understand that you're a good man. Especially when you're dealing with women and you're dating. They know they can trust you around their kids, so they don't have a problem leaving you with the kids. My mom's talking to me, you're thinking family. She's thinking about, oh, I get a break. So I'm a handyman, a protector, a provider, and a live-in babysitter. Those are things that men don't talk about, and it's a lot of men that'll say, well, that's what we're supposed to do. We're men.
I don't know if it was you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna say everybody get tired.
Yeah,
Everybody get tired.
I think you played it. There was a clip, and I sent it to Emily about this man who says, at as someone breaks into the house at night, you're both going to be scared, but only one of you is expected to act.
Go down the steps.
Yep.
That's something that people really don't. They be like, well, you supposed to do that. You're a man. I gotta fucking die. I gotta die to get respect. Like, think about that. My life is on the line every day. If we were doing this in a public setting, let's just say we met up at Starbucks and we were going to do this interview. Some dude in there gets wrong. Whether you single, got a husband, boyfriend, or whatever, me being the man sitting there with both of you, I'm expected to make sure that both of y'all get back to y'all men. That's the expectation to come, because I'm supposed to protect you. Some dude come in with a gun or some crazy shit happen, or somebody say something disrespectful to one of y'all, I'm supposed to check that shit. And given this day and time, this climate, that can go left immediately. Then I don't go home to my child. So when we see these clips online of men just standing there like whole brick face, the chick talking about, look at all these men out here and they didn't do nothing. So they supposed to die because you done jaw jacked with some dude.
Mouth. Yep.
And every dude ain't. That's why we're so hesitant, because we know everybody ain't got it all. If he'll hit you with a brick, he'll damn sure pull a pistol on me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I always ask for those brothers. This is a brother down in Florida, lost his life last year. His wife was doing a GoFundMe, but they were in Walmart. Some dude was arguing with a woman. He ended up putting hands on her. So the husband leaves his woman. I think she was pregnant at the time too, or had just had the baby. He goes over there to try to separate him, and the dude shoots him and kills him.
Ugh.
Gone, just like that. And those women that have husbands, they've said, I wish my husband would. I wish he would go play Captain Save-A-Ho for some other woman and he don't come home. So we're constantly in this space of, do I throw him a cape or do I sit back and watch? And depending on who's watching, who has a comment about it, either one, I'm wrong. Do I help or do I not? Sticking with relationships, in arguments, as a man, I can't raise my voice because then I'm abusive. I can't talk to you in a normal tone of voice because your ass may not listen. You don't think I'm serious because I wasn't screaming and cussing. So I can't raise my voice. We all agree I can't raise my hand. I can't stay there and argue because men will be like, I wouldn't let no woman talk to me like that. How am I going to stop her? How are you going to not let her? So I can't stay there and just take it, but I also can't walk away. Because then when I walk away, oh, you don't know how to check a woman. You can't handle a real woman. So I can't stay. I can't leave. I can't argue. I can't be quiet. I can't raise my voice, and I can't raise my hand. What the fuck am I supposed to do? So going back to your question earlier, Mo, that's what I mean by nobody gives a fuck. All those scenarios, I'm going to be wrong in someone's eyes, and they're not going to hesitate to tell me. They're not going to understand my why. Whereas a lot of times with women, it's she didn't have a father in her life. You don't know her story. You don't know what she's been through. We start layering the reasons or excuses, however you want to look at it, because it's a woman. When it's a man, figure that shit out. Fuck it. People going to talk shit anyway. So now I just got to make a decision of my own and stay with that.
Yep, I think that's the key right there. People are going to say something anyway. They're going to talk about you. So might as well live your truth and be true to what you believe, because so many times we're living for other people, and something happens when you're in mid age where you feel like, wait, I have to start living for myself. This is the only life you have. That's it. It's a wrap after that. So am I going to make a decision based on what you're going to say about me? Or am I going to make a decision based on what's best for me and my family, or just for me?
Yeah. Like even now, my daughter's 20. I started telling her no more often. The older she got, I started telling her more things of, I could tell you all day, this don't make sense. But now you're an adult, so you're going to do what you want to do it anyway. If you ask me if something's a good idea or daddy, can I have? No. because she's 19, 20. She still called it for money. No, I ain't got it. You know why I ain't got it? 'Cause I'm finna take my ass to Columbia. That's the fuck why I ain't got it.
What's in Columbia?
Beaches and bitches.
That's what I wanted to get to. We took two. I checked out your Instagram, and I looked at a whole bunch of things that were posted, and I have questions.
Oh yeah, hit me with them. Hit me with them.
This concept of divesting.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
I'm cool with it. Cool with it.
You're fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I do not. I want to make this abundantly clear. I do not believe in shitting on black women and then going over to other women. But we do have some stuff we need to address because we heard the same thing from black women again. And it's yeah, sis, you right. You did. These niggas ain't shit. We done heard that. Period. Like we've literally heard women say, all men cheat, all men are dogs, all niggas ain't shit. We've heard all since we were little ass boys. And now that we're grown men and we're saying some women or the majority is World War III. So I'm not like, hey, go divest and go find this woman. But I do want brothers to get a passport. Go watch the sunrise in another hemisphere. It's going to change your life. Because again, women outnumber us, period. Wherever you go on the globe, there's going to be women there. Whatever you do with them, able to do whatever they could with, that's on y'all. But you still need to go to another country and experience something. I'm big on that. So the whole divesting at this point, it was a point in time I was woke Kofa. I wanted my mother of the earth, salt, cinnamon, honey, maple skin black woman. I wanted all that. But now at this point, the stuff that I've been through in my 20s and my 30s, and now I'm 40, fuck it.
You just want a good woman.
You're gonna say what you're gonna say anyway.
Yeah. I think the term, I have a problem with the term. I mean, it just sounds, I wonder if other races, and I know there's a history, there's a whole bunch of things different, but I wonder if other races have the same weight put on it and are calling it divest. I mean, divesting is literally to take your, it's the opposite of investing, right? You're taking, you're pulling out and you're taking it somewhere else. And just that idea, I wonder if other races are putting an emphasis on that the way that we are, to call it divesting. That's a powerful word.
I don't think so.
I don't. But then,
you're right. You're divesting. You're taking your resources and placing them
elsewhere
in another bucket, so to speak.
In order to divest, don't you have to have some kind of value? You're taking away, you're depriving somebody of something. So if not one here, is it truly divesting? Maybe find another word.
But that's see, we usually hear the word divesting from the sisters. The brothers just getting a passport and saying, hey, we out. Because women have told us. When I say you, y'all, I'm not talking about you two on the screen. But y'all have told us we weren't gonna date you anyway. I ain't want you no way. We don't need you. And constantly when you're hearing this, even if you don't hear it directly from your family members, I'm also big on that, I tell the brothers, don't just look at your romantic relationships. Look at your family layout. Look how the women in your family are moving with men that you know they've had around. I always give the example. Cousin, we had a kickback, we had a cookout, family gathering. Cousin show up with Tony. First time Tony done met the family. Tony, cool to the motherfucker. All right, cool, Tony. 2 months later, go down the road. You see your same cousin. Hey, where my boy at? Where Tony at? Fuck Tony. Damn, what my boy do? Nothing. I mean, he a good dude. It just, I don't know. What the fuck? Because a man know a man and a woman know a woman. So when we meet these guys in the family, like, man, he was cool as hell. Cousin fucked up. And then you proceed to watch her date bum after bum after bum. And a lot of dudes don't realize it. Well, they realize it, but they can't bring themselves to say it. A lot of their mamas did the same shit. Did the same thing. Did the same thought behavior in the 70s, 80s, and 90s before it became a word. We've seen this for some time. So usually we hear the word divesting from the women. The brothers just like, y'all don't want us? I bet. I'm not going to be a stepdaddy no more. I'm not going to be taking you out for 4 and 5 dates. This is what forced men to start asking questions, because some people say it's weird that men are asking, but what do you bring to the table? I need to know what you bring to the table other than that same box and some other dude's kids. Are you bringing a whole bunch of abusive baggage? Are you bringing anger? Are you bringing uncooperation? What are you bringing? It has forced brothers to ask, because we're so accepted, especially black men. We've almost pretty much accepted we're going to be a stepfather just by the sheer numbers of black women that have kids out of wedlock, that are single mothers. It's 70 to 80% of black kids that don't have a father in the home. Now, some have, guys like me that are hands-on with the kids still, but when it boils down to it, a lot of the dating landscape are single moms. When brothers started saying that, then it became a problem.
I have a question. You said, what do you bring to the table? And you flipped it on me in a sense that I've always heard it as, what do you bring that's positive to the table? What you just mentioned sounded like, what are your traumas? What baggage are you bringing? Which is a decent question, I think, for anybody to ask. Like, what are we getting into here? Mo has talked about a line in a movie. You tell your ugliest part or something. I forgot what movie it was, Mo. Yeah, let's put it out on the table and find out. For my understanding, though, we've talked about the table, what you bring to the table. I am the table, all this stuff that people say, whatever. But I always thought of it as a man asking, what are you going to give to me? What do you bring? I'm paying this bill, this. What are you giving? What are you contributing? And I always took it as that to be the question, not what are you dealing with? What am I going to have to put up with you? But what are you going to do for me?
It's both. And a big thing is, what are you going to do for me?
What does that look like, though? Like, from a male's perspective, what are you looking for? Like, what do you guys want?
The basic traditional stuff, the cooking, the cleaning, the things like that. And we're not saying, when we say cooking, cleaning, sisters immediately go to, oh, you want me barefoot and pregnant, I can't never leave the house. Just a whole extreme. Like, no, damn, like, what are you bringing? Whether it's the traditional stuff, and the biggest thing is respect and cooperation. That's baseline for any man. Black,
and that's
white,
reciprocal.
Anything.
That goes both ways.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, women want love. Men want respect. You ain't got to love me, but you're not going to talk to me fucking crazy.
No, I mean,
you're not, because so many men have, women have said, and again, these are women's words that we're going off of, and not just romantic relationships. These are things we watched since we was little boys. So
this sounds basic to me, like basic relationship, like respect, love. I don't understand.
Is this a sign? Like, is this a sign?
Like, who are these people? Who are these women and these men out here having conversations about this?
Nobody cares. You said a big word. It's basic. My grandmother taught me something. Common courtesy used every day.
Yeah.
It's something that my mom taught me. You can speak to a dog. Hey, boy, you can speak to a dog. But it's what's being said to black men, or what's not being said. Because a lot of solid brothers got to do the heavy lifting. That's why I went to the emotional baggage and stuff like that. It's so much emotional labor that men do in relationships, and people don't realize it, because we're the less emotional ones. Yeah, and salute for wearing the hoodie.
Yes. For those of you listening, it says, stop lying on Black men.
Okay.
Can you tell us about what this means and where people can find this hoodie if they want?
Yeah, so that hoodie is available on G.R.O.W.T.H merch. That's my name on the screen. G.R.O.W.T.H TALKMERCH, growthtalkmerch.com. I have some more hoodies on there. I have a coffee mug. I'm going to be adding more merch probably over the next couple of months. But yeah, so I just got the idea. I was talking to somebody, and again, just the stereotypical tropes and traits of y'all niggas do this and this, that, and the third. Could you please stop lying on black men? Those are the brothers that y'all do it. So me and her had a little bit more say with me. I created a hoodie, and I used the I in lying. I used the noose, because throughout history, when black men have been lied on, we end up getting lynched. So that's why I created that hoodie.
Damn.
And it's available in black, gray, and the pink one that Mo has on. Appreciate you, sis. We can pick up with part 2 another day. Y'all just let me know. I'll
Yeah,
do
we're
and
gonna
chop
have
it up.
to. Whew.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you taking the time out. And let's definitely
This is part one.
continue
This is part one.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, this part 1. I
definitely.
appreciate y'all having
This is
me.
probably
man,
part
for
1
real.
and 2.
Yeah, there's still more
I'll
to
let
talk
y'all
about,
do
I
y'all-
feel like.
Y'all do your
Yeah.
thing. We can keep fleshing it out, but thank y'all for having me, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Likewise.
thank you.
All right, y'all
Take
follow me,
care.
Growth Talk Kofa on YouTube.
Girl Talk with Kofa.
All right. That's
Okay.
where you can find G.R.O.W.T.H Kofa with Kofa. All right, y'all. Take
right.
care.
All right, peace.
Bye.
Bye.